let's just spend a couple of minutes on the final point, which was to do with how more operational again, thinking about team objectives, whether they're individual or whether they are the whole legal team and how that relates to the whole company. Do you guys have anything? I mean, how have you been thinking about this sort of thing? I mean, obviously from a management perspective, Laurie, how have you been kind of thinking about setting team objectives?
Well, yeah,
to the extent you have, maybe it's been kind of, because I remember in practice it was for us, I guess we had some individual metrics or targets that we kind of at the beginning of the year you sort of articulate and try and hit, but it was very amorphous,
yeah. Well, I suppose it's all linked in. Currently, what we currently do is linked in with the system, the collaboration system that we have. But what when you're talking about managing a team and having to do all the appraisals and objectives and that, what would be really nice is having somewhere where that all sits. So you don't, well, we don't have that at the moment, but we are potentially going to have a new system that does that, where you have the appraisals linked to the objectives, are linked to the training system, linked to, and it all being in one place where you can monitor that. And then ideally it would be linked to something like what we were just talking about then, when you're tasking things out, you can tick boxes because you can see, there's a task here that links to that objective, and then that person has taken that task that ticks that objective. So really it's just, it's things about sort of saving time for the team management, and making it more accessible and open to the rest of the team so that they can see what we're doing. Because I think that there's always an element of, what do these people, what are they doing? We just want it to be something that people are aware of and can see and track themselves. And
linked slightly to the bigger picture, I guess, as well, rather than just being individual, kind of having some idea of what's going on at a slightly higher level as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sort of that managing people, so the people point to do with the whole tech onboarding and stuff is really key. Understanding how they react to any kind of rollout that you've got, or capacity that they have. It's just we just can't do this tech stuff without bringing them along with us. So how we achieve that, and whether we achieve it more through some sort of tech process, I suppose, or platform, or combination of both. I mean, for us, we've been doing a lot of sort of change improvement project type things, where we're having small groups of people sort of think about an innovative way that we could do something differently in a bid to kind of bring them along that process and sort of generate those ideas and create something different out of it. So that's something that we've been trying to do. But but that isn't using the tech that we use to do that is just stuff like Miro or something like that, to try and make it more interactive with people. But I suppose there's lots of things that you can do, aren't there? But
exactly, it's kind of hitting on one solution that fits all might be impossible. It may not be the case. I don't know, Radhika, do you have at HPE, how are kind of, let's say, team objectives, how are they communicated to you? What would you like would you like it to improve or change with tech?
So I think for the legal department, we are such a heavily engaged team, even at a global level. I'm on a day-to-day basis. I could be speaking to someone in any multiple countries around the world with my colleagues. So we're so heavily engaged with each other that everyone's very attuned to what our team objectives. So, I mean, you can even just imagine the traditional sense. We have our head of department who, shares the vision and goal for the rest of the year. And then there are different ways for folks to get involved in order to achieve those goals. But the way in which that we sort of execute it on a more sort of granular level is this concept of OKRs, which is objective key results. So anyone you can just Google OKR and you can see what it means. But there's a whole theory behind honing in on goal setting by using this potential aspect. So it's very much focused on anything you're trying to do. What is your objective? And what is the key result that you're looking for? So we're very sort of results driven. you know, even going back to the idea of the hackathons, for example, anything of sort which allows one to think outside the box, to be really innovative, even if it costs money, fine. You know, put your proposal forward, but really truly understand what is the business statement, the problem statement that you're trying to address, and when you address it, what is the key result that you intend to achieve from it, and how will you measure that success? So this sort of way of thinking is ingrained in us, as to how all of us think about all of our objectives. And we also have a platform that is available for folks to use, where we can set our goals and monitor and demonstrate our achievements. Somewhat of an interactive dashboard, let's say, where you can, you know, track the progress. And it's actually also designed, again, to promote that collaboration amongst employees. Well, shouldn't say employees, actually. At HP, we don't call each other employees, we call each other team members, because we, you know, have that close-knit community. So those are the types of things that we focus on, Jake, when we think about our, you know, framing and meeting our team objectives, and also individual objectives as part of that team.
Which is great to hear. So much of that is so familiar to us at Robin, because we also subscribe to the idea of OKRs. We have OKRs for the team, for every team, you know, engineering, legal, whatever, sales. But then we have the broader company objectives, and we use a product called Notion, which is, you can think of it a bit like a Wikipedia page. You can build whatever you want on it, but ultimately it's a repository for information. But we use it, you know, we have our company updates and team updates and all the rest, and it's a really nice way of, you can make it as sophisticated or as unsophisticated as you like. You could simply have a list of objectives and tick them off one by one. Luckily, we have some engineers in the business, so they have built some very shiny, lovely looking things with green lights and red lights and all sorts. So there are definitely ways of tracking it, and it certainly does bring a bit more engagement to everybody in the team. It's not just for the managers to look at and say, well, I need to push harder on this particular one. I think it does foster a sense of engagement with everyone. They kind of have ownership for their particular bits. Fabulous. Okay.